Hello, Claudine.
Hello and welcome to Who Is Best, a show where I, Claudine, take games to give you choices and rate those choices in a tier list. Bravely Default was an unassuming 3DS title that managed to create one of the most intricate job systems in RPG history. Bravely Second, End Layer, its sequel, but not sequel, it's complicated, continued this study of job systems, taking it in a slightly different direction than its predecessor. The biggest change in Bravely Second is the nerfing of certain jobs and abilities, specifically physical and support jobs, and the absolutely insane game-breaking buff of magic jobs. There are also some new classes added in as well. Before we get started, I do want to mention a specific strategy called the Ghost Mage strat. In Bravely Second, there is a new status ailment called Ghost that only allows a player to cast magic or default in battle. Combined with the Time Mage, Yokai, Exorcist, and Wizard in the late game, this build absolutely breaks this title, making you invincible while dishing out an incredibly unbelievable amount of damage. If you want to learn more, I've linked Red Nova Tyrant's explanation in the description of this video. Alright, you know the drill, we're rating each class both as a primary and secondary job. Synergy, stats, weapon rank, attack, and magic scaling will all be considered. We're also considering a job's usefulness throughout the entire game with an emphasis on the late game. This means that accessibility will also come into play. Also, if you enjoy content like this and want to see more, join my Patreon for only $1 a month. I post an exclusive video each month there, as well as have an entire library of content for you to discover. Be sure to click on the link in the description of the video. Finally, stick around till the end where we'll discuss best job combinations as well as a bonus list. We'll start with the tier. The almost universally agreed upon worst job in Bravely Second is the Merchant. Aside from getting money, this job is essentially useless. The best thing you can say is that paid to play ups critical damage and it has access to 3 weapon types. Next is the Ranger. The Ranger has terrible stats, has one of the worst damage multipliers in the game in Slayer, and has very expensive skills. The positives are access to heavy armor and multi-burst. The final member of the tier is the White Mage. Now, White Mage by itself isn't really that bad, and probably deserves to be in the low tier. But considering the fact that the Bishop exists, there is really no reason whatsoever to use this job. The low tier. The Black Mage has average stats, a lot of single target magic spells, and in the high levels gets access to 3 elements. It's MP expensive, and aside from the late game damage, is easily replaced by the Red Mage and the Wizard. The only reason you would use it is for its group cast all ability. The Templar comes way too late in the game to make any significant difference. It's probably one of the best tanks and comes with Fortitude, which is one of the best BP battery skills in Bravely Second. If you could get access to it sooner in your playthrough, the Templar would have landed much higher on this list. The Freelancer is your starting class and overall your jack of all trades. Not amazing at anything, but not bad at anything either. You'll most likely use this early on for unique weapons until you can unlock jobs that can use them. The Kaiser has amazing stats and a lot of potential, but its skills are just too circumstantial to place it high on this list. Noble Eagle is awesome, but you need a team built around it, and considering builds like the 3 Mage team with Spellcraft and Good Measure, or the aforementioned Ghost Mage team, there really isn't a reason to go with the Kaiser build. The final member of the low tier is the Yokai. The Yokai is one of the best jobs in the game and is required for the Ghost Mage build. It's also not available until the final dungeon. It's the last job available, and by the time you get it, the game is pretty much over, which is a shame, since the class is an awesome mix of buffs, debuffs, elemental attacks, and instant death spells. Alright, we're splitting the mid tier into 2 parts, so let's start with the lower mid tier. Similar to the first title, a team of Valkyrie can cheese their way through the game. Is it the best strategy? Absolutely not. Is it broken? Yeah. If you're looking for a setup that takes little thinking and strategy, the Valkyrie team is for you. The Fencer has similar stats to the Ninja and is good for physical attacks and keeping buffs. It has no option for multi-target attacks and focuses entirely on single target damage. In order to get this job to compete with other physical DPSs like Hawkeye, Ninja, or Dark Knight, it needs multiple turns of setup, which is not ideal. The Knight is about the same, maybe slightly less useful than in Bravely Default. It's a defensive job and is almost exclusively a tank. The The Knight is perfect for a team of glass cannons and can even damage high defense enemies with two-handed. And speaking of tanks, the Guardian has the highest defensive stat in the game. It's a bit of a gimmicky class where you can add your stats to another party member. All in all though, it's pretty unnecessary considering the other job abilities. Not to mention that it comes pretty late in your playthrough as well. Next up on the lower mid tier is the Thief. The Thief is overlooked by most players as it struggles to do damage. But considering its insane speed and hit scaling, the Thief with a bow can actually be one of your best early game damagers. Not to mention its ability to heal its own HP and MP. Sure, it loses any usefulness aside from steal in the mid game, but until then, it's worth a team slot. The final member of the lower mid tier, and probably my most controversial placement, is the Monk. The Monk is straightforward. As a primary job, it has great stats and the highest damaging weapons. But unfortunately, its skills are all but useless. The only way it can be viable is being backed up by a better job. The upper mid tier. First on the upper mid tier is the Pirate. The Pirate is a DPS debuffer, and if kept alive, this job can dish out incredible damage while simultaneously debuffing the enemy. Defang and Skull Bash dramatically change boss battles, and double damage is always great. The big problems here are keeping the Pirate alive and its insane MP costs. This job is so squishy that a soft breeze will blow it over and incredibly expensive to boot. Next is the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight has the best group physical attacks in the game. Its S rank in katanas and with dual or triple wield will turn this class into an absolute DPS machine. That said, similar to the Pirate, the Dark Knight is a glass cannon whose abilities drain its HP. Also, Rage was nerfed from the first game, making it less effective overall. The Charioteer is here for two simple reasons. That is physical attack up 20% and triple wield, which you can get by job level 3. You don't even need to level this class to get its most potent advantages. But if you do, you will also get great skills like Trample, Wanton Destruction, and Quad Wield. The Swordmaster with the right combos and conditions can be deadly. If those aren't met, it's not quite as effective though. With that being said, it's still an upper tier DPS and support unit. Free Lunch can remove NP costs from the Pirate, and Multitask keeps this class relevant, even if you can't get it to counter. The Astrologian is a pure support job, but it has surprisingly good attack and defensive stats. The main draw of the Astrologian is applying then extending buffs to your party. This job is a great secondary job to something like the Bishop for a full support unit. The Performer is another support job. It's higher than the Astrologian because of it not being a magic dependent class. Getting my hero early on ends up being one of the best BP battery strats for the mid game. Throw in Encore for additional abilities and you have a solid support job. The Red Mage is one of the most versatile units. It's pretty good in almost every area, even being able to equip shields early on. The main reason the Red Mage beat out the Performer and Astrologian though is its late game combo with Patissier, which makes for the best BP battery in the entire game. It's also possible to set up the Ghost Mage build with a Red Mage. The final member of the upper mid tier and possibly top or god tier candidate is the Time Mage. The Time Mage is here for only a single spell, Meteor. Meteor is a late game ability that, as demonstrated with the Ghost Mage build, is the single strongest spell in the game. Because of this, I couldn't put this job any lower, but also couldn't justify it any higher as it's pretty much useless in every other area. Alright, let's move on to the best jobs in the entire game. We'll start with the top tier. First up is the Catmancer. The Catmancer has great stats, access to Knuckles and Catmancy, which makes it the single most versatile job in the entire game. It can heal, restore MP, double damage, debuff enemies, and most importantly, mass attack in the late game can cause, and I'm not joking here, millions of damage in one turn. The craziest part is that you don't even have to level up the job to get access to Catmancy. The Catmancer's greatest downfall though is that it's dependent on items. So if you don't have the required items, it's an average to useless class. Next is the Patissier. The Patissier is similar to Catmancer as it's dependent on items. With that being said though, its support may possibly surpass Catmancer. Bon Appetit gives buffs, debuffs, and more importantly the ghost status, allowing for the Ghost Mage setup. It can also put elemental weaknesses on enemies, boosting the damage of your mages or Dark Knight. Flambe hits hard and allows the Patissier to go past support to one of the better damage dealers in the game as well. I could go on, but just know that the Patissier pretty much does it all. The Summoner got an incredible facelift from the previous title. Now, the Summoner is one of the best classes in the game, with a buffed Convert MP skill and summoning damage potential, combined with spellcraft and using summons like Charitas, Amaterasu, and the multi-summon ability in the late game, and you have a contender for highest damage dealer in Bravely Second. Speaking of highest damage dealer, the Hawkeye is one of the best, if not the best, physical damage dealer in this title. This mainly comes down to two abilities: Warhead, which changes the element of your weapon and adds magical damage, and Harpoon, which pierces enemy defense. Both of these together make for a consistently hard-hitting damage dealer. The final member of the top tier, and most likely the actual best physical damage dealer in Bravely Second, is the Ninja. The Ninja has the best agility and hit scaling, meaning its hit count will be higher than any other job, making up for its lower strength. Dual wield is the best way to set up a single target damage, and again, same as the previous game, Utsusemi combined with the comeback kit, transients, or turntables makes for some of the best combos in Bravely Second. Sure, it's not amazing in the early game, but once the abilities are gained, the Ninja will shred through any boss in only a few turns. The God tier. The Exorcist is a terrible main job with contradictory stats and weapon tiers. So how did it land on the God tier? Well, that's because it's the single best support job in the entire game. This is due to its undo ability, which allows the Exorcist to undo the loss of HP, MP, and BP, used in the correct way, and this will undoubtedly break any battle. In the late game, Auto Undo becomes the single best ability in Bravely Default's history. If the enemy can't take you down in a single turn, your HP, MP, and BP will be fully healed. Nothing can outdo that. Well, except for the Bishop. The Bishop has incredible stats and the ability Good Measure, which if combined with Spellcraft can give spells a 3x boost in damage. Early on, a White Mage will heal more than Bishop, but in the late game with Benediction healing 100% HP, there is no reason to use any other class. The crazy and broken part of the Bishop's healing is that it is percentage based and not dependent on an intelligence stat, meaning that pretty much any job can have Bishop as a secondary job and fully heal the party. Oh, and don't forget Mist and Calm, which with the right BP battery can make your team unkillable. The final member of this list and top of the God tier is the Wizard. This is no surprise to anyone who's played this game. Spellcraft is incredible for upping magic damage, and with the highest intelligence and magic scaling, the Wizard ends up dealing upper tier damage from beginning to end. Needle can be exploited to increase damage and healing, while Hammer is a single target skill that can trigger physical damage bonuses. Blast makes all spell groups cast without any other support, and Rain can be manipulated to up both damage and support. Finally, Ventriloquism can be used strategically to make an entire team of wizards unstoppable. Oh, and did I mention that this is the second job you acquire in the game? The Wizard will go down as one of the strongest jobs in the history of video games. Now, as for best combos, there are so many, but to point out a few. The Ninja, as a primary job with either the Hawkeye or Pirate, make for the best physical DPS in the game. Any primary job mixed with the Exorcist will eliminate the need for support. The Bishop as a primary class with any other magic job, or the Bishop as a secondary job for healing with really any job in the game is a great combo. And finally, the Wizard with pretty much anything else will be your main powerhouse. Don't forget to look into the Ghost Mage setup as well. And that's our list. I hope you enjoyed. Do you think we'll see a Bravely Default 3 on the Switch too? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you to all my Patreon members, and if you would like to get an extra video each month, consider joining the Low Cloud Aim family for only $1 a month. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bonus round. Best Dressed Warriors in Bravely Second, uncensored of course. Go. Number 10, Bishop Edea. Number 9, Merchant Magnolia. Number 8, Dark Knight U. Number 7, Thief Edea. Number 6, Performer Magnolia. Number 5, Wizard Tiz. Number 4, Hawkeye Magnolia. Number 3, Ninja U. Number 2, Pirate Magnolia. And number 1, Yokai Tiz. Worst looking class in the game, pretty much anything you wears.